Hello, welcome to all of you to the session of context and dependency injection. Last lecture I have explained the concept of CDI dependency injection, how to write a beam, and few concepts of interceptors, decorators, and events. Now I am going to show you the practical demonstration using the NetBeans concepts. So now assume that there is a scenario in order to implement the context and dependency injection as given below. So imagine you have a web application. In that there are two files. One is the index.xhtml file with the following uh, graphical user interface using JSF. So you can enter the first name, middle name, last name, email address and submit. It will navigate to the next page, that is confirmation.xhtml, and it will display the data that you have entered in the previous screen. Fine. So now you are going to create a managed beam and a context dependency beam, and you are going to inject that beam into the managed. So using the act inject annotation. So now let us demonstrate this. I will go to the NetBeans and I create one new web application. New web application, and I will say like CDI demonstration. Next, so I am going to use this Glassfish server and Java E module. Then I will use the JSF framework. Once the JSF checkbox is enabled, you can click the finish button. Yes, now our application CDI demonstration is ready. I have a file index.xhtml. There we can design the JSF form, and in that I can design the form elements. So it's a first name, before that I want a panel grid. Designing that page now, please have patience. So I'm using this h colon input text. So value binding I will do it later. Now I have first name, middle name as I have shown you here. First name, middle name, last name and email address. This is your last name and email address. And one button to submit. Is equal to submit button, value is equal to save. Fine. So this is my basic page, and I will also create the another page, that is confirmation.xhtml file. So you can choose JSF page, name is confirmation. Okay, folder no need, if you want you can mention. So confirmation. So in this confirmation we are just going to display. So you can use the same code but with only output text. Fine. So input text I will disable. Output text. Okay. Command button is not required here. So output text. So here you have to bind the values. So binding we will do once we create the managed view. Fine. For the instance we have done the design of the user interface. Now I am going to create an class name customer. So in that customer I will have these four properties defined. It will be looking you like this: customer with the request scope and the four properties. So here right click, new, what do you call, say named object. So say managed bean. So here customer package, if you want you can mention like com.ig.cas.cd. Request scope you can choose here. Okay, fine. Now I have to create the four properties. So I will just copy these properties and then I can create the getter setters. So right click, then insert code, then click on to the getters and setters. So choose all, generate. Now this is ready, our B. So now instead of binding this customer B, I will create one controller, and in that controller I will inject this customer B. So here the next part is, uh, assume that there is a bean called customer controller which is injecting customer. Okay, so it will look you something like this. So now I will create one more. Right click on the package, manage bean customer controller. Okay, so here we can give request scope, then finish it. Now here what I can do is, private customer customer. I will use the annotation inject. Import the package. So this customer bean is injected into this customer controller. Okay, So this is the second part of the question. So I have written the annotation inject for the customer B. Now implement the get method that returns the customer object and setter method that returns the customer object. So I will create the getter setter here for the customer object. Save the code. So now our file is looking to you. It will look like this. So for navigation, I want to I want to write a method for navigation. When you click the submit button, it should go to the confirm page. So in this customer controller itself, I will write a method to navigate to confirmation page. Navigate to confirm page. Confirmation.html page. Okay, fine. So I will save it. Now we have to bind the properties that we defined here into the index.html page. So here I can bind by using customer controller dot customer dot history. Okay, then I will copy paste the remaining things. Then for the middle name, you can use this middle name here. Last name, sorry, middle name, and here is the last name. Then you have got another property, email address, and in the action we will mention customer controller navigate to confirmation. So at the same time I want to display these values, so I will copy those things over here. Yes. Okay, so I have injected the customer B into this customer controller and I have mapped like this. Now let us build the application and run the application. to display the output. So I have started the application. Application is started running now. It is loading in the Glassfish server. Okay, so now our application is up. So I will say like Ahmed Alpha C. I will say Ahmed first name, next name is Muhammad, last name is Alpha C. Email address Ahmed at gmail.com. So you have a data is saved successfully. Your first name Muhammad, your data is displayed here. So we can organize this one. The confirmation. I can use that output text what we have for this one, first name and middle name for the second one, and the last name and email address. So now I will refresh the page so that I will try to put this outside the panel grid. Now I refresh, finished. So now you have seen the demonstration of navigating from one page to another page using the context dependency injection concept. So this is the basic demonstration of the CDI. Like the topics what we discussed in the lecture class, in the lecture video. So that also I will give you a brief overview here. Let us say for example this one, this class diagram, this scenario. So I have the class like item processor. Into this class I am injecting item DAO, which is an interface. Like in the lectures I have told number generator. So number generator is having a method generate number. So like that item DAO is having the implementation in the class default item DAO. In the default item DAO there are methods. So those methods you can invoke without creating a new operator in this class item processor. So this is the demonstration of working with the CDI through injection. So the steps are something like this. So this page will be looking to you like this when you run. When you click this, the methods what you have uh, in this default item DAO, that will print these values. Okay, that is one topic. The next topic is you have like qualifier. So this to indicate the kind of bean that the class is at the field level or at the class level, at which point you are going to inject in what kind of bean. So here you have the picture which represents the item processor class, and this is the DAO which implements the interface which implements the default item DAO and another item DAO. So using injection, see, qualifier will loosely couple the class into your application. So this will be injected here, and there is a qualifier annotation that you can use in order to display the call the methods that are defined in the another item DAO and the default item DAO. So the output will be something like this. You can exercise it later. So this we are now watching based on the type and the qualifier. Default item DAO is the only B with both correct type and the demo annotation. Okay, now the another topic what we have discussed in the lecture is alternatives. So here you have in the beans.xml file, I have defined one validator there, relaxed item validator, which is the alternative, and default item validator. So this is implemented with the help of this interface item validator into the item processor. So again the methods what you have in this default item validator and the relaxed item validator will be invoked, and you will see the output something like this. Okay, now see, you can consider the scenario where you have to deploy the different size that is more relaxed, and consider an item invalid only if the value is more than twice the limit. That means there is some condition here checking, like if some value is less than that, then display the answer. Okay. That kind of validator you can uh, implement here. Let us say, for example, like you are traveling to some other country like Europe, UK, and you are a national citizen of Oman. So for Omani citizenship, Oman Air will offer you some discount in the air ticket. So that code we can business logic incorporate in the relaxed item validator. If you are a non-Omani, then you can implement that code in the default item validator, where the ticket prices will not be slashed or reduced. So this kind of alternative options you can define in the beans.xml file using this entry. Okay, that is another concept of CDI. And the lifecycle methods like post construct, pre-destroy, what I have discussed in the lecture class, through the item error handler interface, it is injected into the processor. So the program will just you have first init method will be called because it is annotated with the post construct annotation, and release method will be, while calling the release method, this pre-destroy annotation will notify that the instance is going to be removed from the container. Okay. So the last topic what I have discussed in the lecture is the events, like the book item added, book item removed, using the events. Okay, it will notify you with the help of this interface, and that will be injected into the item processor. So the code which we have shown you in the lectures that is going to be implemented like this. You have the event handler class that is implementing the error handler, and you are injecting the item event there and overriding the handling method and calling the fire method. So when the event is fired, this handle item method will be called. Okay, so this is the basic demonstration for firing the events which we have discussed. So the output will be like this. Whenever it fires an event, it will invoke the business logic. This is like the event from the file error report when the value is less than or some condition is satisfied. So now the saving the item lastly to the file and closing. These are the events. Whenever the event is fired, the message is printed onto your console. Understand, students? So these are the concepts which I have covered to you, uh, what we have discussed here in the interceptors, decorators, events, alternatives, etc. Hope you have understood the session and you can practice your lab also. If you have any queries, get back to my email ID. Thank you for watching.